if you had to create a human, what would you put them through to make them tough? It probably wouldn't be a really chill life.
Yeah.
What would you put them through to make them patient? You probably wouldn't give them things immediately. And so it's like we want these traits, but each of the traits has a price tag attached to it. And it's just like, do you want to pay the price tag to get the thing? And so I think if people reframed the period of life that they're going through as the price that they're paying out of their wallet, but the wallet is their time, it's the seconds of life that they're trading for it, then I think more people will be willing to make the trade. Because at least when I look at myself, like when I'm 80 something years old and I'm looking back at my life, I want to have these traits. But in order to have those traits, I know I have to go through these things. And I think for me, that's given me a lot of comfort in hard times.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's Wednesday, January 15th. I just got out of work. It is 5:30 and I ate my meal and I'm gonna go train my first leg day of the week. I'm gonna try to film as much as I can, but we'll see what I can do. I don't like to be that person in the gym, but we'll see. So I do 3 leg days a week and this is my first one. I am always a little bit tired on Wednesdays when I train just because I don't really sleep a whole lot during the week because of like my work schedule and everything, so that is something I'm trying to work on. I think lately I have been having a little bit of a harder time just like body image wise. Nothing crazy, but I have gained some weight back, which, you know, is a good thing. We want me to gain weight right now because I am trying to grow. But I feel like because I was in like the mindset of being in a deficit so long, it is like a little bit hard to change, but then again, I am just like so ramped up and excited to be in a growing phase. So yeah, it definitely has been, just like looking at my check-in pictures and everything, it has been a little bit more difficult to see my like lines soften up and everything, but I think we are putting on some size, so that's good. But yeah, I just ate sweet potato, chicken, cucumbers, and a rice cake and some nut butter. Same thing I had for lunch because it's just easiest to eat the same thing twice. I'm also gonna put like a little Gatorade, like a Gatorade Zero packet into my water when I'm at the gym because it kind of just helps me get a better pump and also just keeps me hydrated, which is a big part of performance. So I don't want to be training super late, so I'm gonna get to the gym. I'm gonna give you guys a voiceover today actually and just kind of talk through my training, the cues, what I'm thinking about, and just technique and everything. So I'm just warming up first, getting everything moving, nothing crazy, just roll out, some mobility, leg swings. You know, you don't need to spend 30 minutes warming up. It's just not necessary. Okay, first up I've got abductions, and for these I place yoga blocks that I got on Amazon in between the pad and my leg so I get a full range of motion at the start of the movement, and it helps a lot, trust me. I recommend you trying. Just these blocks are so useful in general, and I think about going faster on the way out, slower on the way in, and I also lean back a little bit. I know a lot of people like to lean forward, but I don't like to do that. And then moving on to adductors, I also will place a block behind my back just so I'm more upright. I feel the connection a little bit better in my adductors this way. And I'm pulling myself down with my hands into the seat so I'm really tight in the seat. And I'm thinking of squeezing my legs together a little faster, slower on the way out, and thinking of using my knees rather than my feet, if that makes sense. Next is seated ham curls. These are great. I've had so much growth from doing these the past year. So I think of pushing down onto that top pad with my hands and then pushing the top of my thighs up into it as I squeeze, pulling the weight in a little faster and letting it out slower and more controlled. And then I'm also thinking about almost engaging my glute and my hamstring all the way down to where it inserts at the back of my knee. So I'm getting a really, really good full contraction. Then we got B-stance RDLs. These took me a long time to get the hang of. Like, I was struggling doing them with 20 pounds in each hand, and now I have 70 pounds in each hand. So you want to think about pushing your hip back and then sliding the weight down that front leg, very little weight on that back leg. I have just my toe on the ground there. You can kind of play around with that back leg to kind of figure out what feels best. All right, moving on to the more scary lifts of the day. We have a quad focus Smith squat. So this was my heavy set here. And for Smith squats that are quad focused, and really any squat that's quad focused, you want to think about knee flexion and ankle flexion. So really getting deep down so your butt's almost touching the backs of your heels, and ankle flexion kind of allows for that too. So if you have bad ankle flexion, you need to, or ankle mobility, work on that and you'll probably be able to get a deeper squat. but you can kind of see from this angle on my back offset that my feet are pretty close together, kind of like hip width, and then a slight external rotation. Nothing crazy. You're not standing like a duck or anything. Not doing ballet first position, but just enough, or really just mess around until you feel a good quad connection. Moving on to a front foot elevated reverse lunge. I use this Smith machine for this. This is a little more stable, but my foot is elevated on a box. You just can't see it in this clip. But these are really great for glutes. So when I do these, I think about keeping my knee and ankle in line as much as I can. It's moving, my knee's moving a little bit over my ankle here, but nothing crazy. And then keeping the weight off my back leg. I'm also thinking about initiating the movement by pushing my hips back so I get a nice glute engagement there. So these are great. I definitely recommend these. Last but not least, we have my quad focus leg press. So for these, my feet are a little bit lower on the platform. Same kind of as the Smith squat. We have our feet about hip width apart, slight external rotation, and trying to get that good knee flexion because that's how you get into those quads. And I have a belt on also just because when I do these, I feel a lot of pressure in my core, and I think it does help a little bit. And really thinking about pulling myself into the machine as well with my hands, using it as support. I think leg press is maybe top 2 most scary things. I think these and hack squat are like top 2. But honestly, if you're not afraid for leg day, you're not doing it right. Like I genuinely go into these days with fear, and that's just because you need to push yourself really hard to grow legs in general. So yeah, you should be afraid. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Growing these baby wellness legs. We still have a lot of growing left to do, so that's exciting. I'm so tired. I have to shower and eat like 2 meals and then go to bed. Oh, yeah. I showered, did all my stuff, ate my food, got my tea, my peppermint tea I have every night, and I'm gonna go to bed because I have to work tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next part of the vlog.